Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So before we begin this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that you can get notified of any new videos that come on board. Put things, questions, comments, suggestions, topics, put them in the comment section, and I'm more than happy to do so. I've actually answered a number of them this week, and actually the end of last week and this week, so keep them coming. I'm glad to do so. I'm glad to respond to you. I'm glad that you're subscribing. We actually have, I believe we have 220 subscribers. Remember, this is this is not a channel that you'll see, you know, people doing funny things, maybe once in a while, but not a lot. People doing funny things or challenges or this or that. I mean, this channel is about health. This channel is about mental health. This channel is about mental focus. This channel is about physical focus, right? This channel is about life balance. So there's a lot of things that we talk about. And there's been so many different topics that we talked about. I want you to go back to some of the videos in the past. There's so many good videos. I actually have stories in there. I have different aspects of topics. Like today's topic is a two-part topic, right? Well, actually, it's a two topic video. The first one is we as human beings are creatures of habit and how we can take advantage of that. And the second one is the power of compounding. I've talked about this many times, and I'm going to talk about it again because remember, right? Repetition builds muscle memory, builds physical memory. Repetition builds muscle memory. How do you think you can get from your home, if you drive, right? How do you think you can get from your home to your place of work without even thinking about it? Sometimes not even knowing, just turning and turning and turning and going that way, right? Muscle memory. It's because you repeat, because you have to go to work every day, almost every day, right? 2 days off, and some people 1 day off, some people 3 days off. But it's something that you repeat and repeat and repeat. Remember, we're creatures of habit. We tend to gravitate towards habit building activities. So, you know, and some of those activities can include, right, driving, reading, hands-on activities like cooking. You know what I do? Remember I told you this. I either wash dishes. We catch water before when it's cold, before it gets warm, so that we can shower. We take those buckets of water out and we actually water the plants with that, because otherwise you'll be running water down the drain until it gets hot, right? So we catch it and then we take it out, and then we do that. We also use that for our 2 kitties. We fill one of the buckets with good water. We leave it out during the day, and that's what they drink, besides their little fountain that they have in the kitchen area. So again, habit buildings. We're creatures of habit. We can build any habit that we want to. And why don't we want to build the habits that's going to build us success, right? And so today we went walking once in the morning, once in the evening, a total of over 6 miles, which is great. I feel great just knowing that we walked a total of 6 miles. It just re-energized my mind, and it just re-energizes my body as well. And again, those are the habits that you want to form. It doesn't have to be 6 miles. It doesn't have to be 2 miles. It can be just 1 mile. It could be anything, right? Remember, in one of the videos last week, I said some of the habits that we need to build are exercise. Do exercise, because if you do exercise throughout the day, you're going to be able to deal with things a lot better, because your mind is going to be sharp and your body's going to be ready. It's going to be fit. So, what else? Another habit that I form as well is I actually make these videos. I love these videos. You know how much I put into these videos? It's so much information, so much energy, so much good intention that I want to make sure that you get the best. And I want to make sure that you get it for free. Again, it's not about, I mean, some people do sell, some people write books, some people do that. But I want you to have video after video after video, so that way you can look, so that way you can go back and say, okay, this is what I need right now. Because there are some of you that say, oh, this is what I needed right now. And that's great. I want you to comment that way. I want you to give me suggestions of what you need right now. What topics do you need right now? So what I'm doing is I'm putting topics together now. We used to do just one. Sometimes we did 5-part series, right? And now we're putting 2 together because they go hand in hand. We are creatures of habit. Well, let's take advantage of that. Let's motivate ourselves to build these habits so that way we can move forward and reach our goals. The compounding effect. The compounding effect is awesome. I mean, it's little victories that together they form into medium-sized victories, that together they form into large victories. And so the compounding effect goes everywhere. I mean, and it also could go the other way around. It could be the negative effect as well. So you have to be careful because, I mean, sometimes, you know, when you're feeling like you can't get out of bed and you have a thought, and then you have another thought, and then you check an email and it's not, you perceive that it's not the most positive, or you get a phone call saying, no, well, this has changed, and then it adds and adds and adds. It's also the compounding effect. But see, those things, you have to, it's kind of like a balance, right? You have to increase the number of the positive effects, the positive compounding effects, right? And so we want to make sure, I mean, most of the time, it leans towards the negative here, but we need to move it over. We need to tip it over to the positive, because the positive will build and build and build. And believe me, I don't know if you felt it. I'll raise my hands because it does. It just energizes me. I am so energized right now because of that. Just because we broke the long walk into 2 pieces, into 2 parts, 2 times, but it's still 6 miles. And I'm like, yes, I haven't walked 6 miles in about a week and a half. And I'm going to tell you that, right? I'm going to tell you that I've gained a little bit of weight. Man, that's not me. You know when you get to a certain point where you feel things, you can see things, you can expect things. I mean, you can tell the difference between right now I'm right around 217 and when I was 209. Right? That's a big difference. That's an 8-pound difference, right? It makes a difference. I mean, even when I went from 267 to 220, it made a difference. It did. I mean, remember my goal, right? That's one of my bucket lists now. I put it in my bucket list now. I want to shred like Monkey Man. Watch the preview. I mean, it's gory, not for kids, but it's just those, that movie's just a habit building. It's what and that kind of inspired me and said, I can build those habits. I'm a very habit focused person. I have to build my habits so that way I can get going. Is that momentum, right? It's like tipping the momentum. Is that pebble that you're on top of the snowy mountain and you let it go, and it's just a pebble, but as it goes down, it compacts, the snow compacts on it, and it goes down and it goes down. At some point, that snowball is going to have so much velocity and so much force that you're going to be unstoppable. Well, you're going to be unstoppable. You got to say that to yourself. I'm going to be unstoppable. right? It's you know, in my first iteration of Back on Basics, which is years ago, I used to say, you gotta unleash your beast. You do. I mean, it's like, I'm not saying, you know, you act like an animal. All I'm saying is motivation, right? Power of compounding, right? Habit forming. Remember, we're creatures of habit. All of that put together, oh man, it's to me, it's a very successful combination that leads you to whatever goals you set for yourself, short term or long term, whatever you want to do, short term or long term. Those are very good habit forming combinations. We're creatures of habit. The compounding effect, those things together, it's amazing because you can do it over and over and over. And this past week, I've kept this, I mean, not just me, other people as well, but I've tried to keep the house clean, the plants in the front and the back watered. I mean, those are a little bit of exercises that build upon each other. Guess what? You know what drives me? The fact that I have a plant that's dying because of the heat, but I add water, and then a few days later I add more water, and now it's alive, and now it's thriving. It was almost dying, and now it's thriving. It's just the power of compounding, and that's an example of compounding as well, because you add water, and then a few days later you add more water. It compounds. It's a compounding effect. It just works that way. It's the same thing with, with these videos. I mean, I do shorts wherever I can at different times. I do one in Spanish. I do one in English. And guess what? I do one on Instagram, which is a super microbite, which is a 30-second video. The shorts are 1 minute long. The ones on YouTube at Back on Basics 9985. On Instagram, I go 30 seconds, and I usually talk about that topic, but I hone on one or two skills that can be used for that topic, so that way you'll be able to practice, so that way you'll be able to use the compounding effect, so that way you'll be able to build a habit, because if you build a habit, then you'll do it. You know what? When I teach at University of Phoenix, when I teach online, habit forming, I'm all the time, every day, even on my off days. I'm in front of the computer. I'm just learning something, or I'm trying to answer questions. I answer texts. I answer emails. I have virtual office hours. I do a lot of different things. I want to engage with my students so that way they know that I'm here to support them. So that way I can tell them how to build those habits, how to do the study habits, how to do the work habits, how to do the work-life balance. So I'll give you the example that I give my students. And let's go back and say, okay, you want a certificate, or you got your high school diploma. Let's do that. So when you grab your certificate, right, your diploma, you see it, right? It's your accomplishment, but you don't realize it's that the compounding effect has helped you without you even knowing. Because now you start thinking, you start thinking about all the people that have helped you, your parents, your spouses, your kids, if you have kids. I mean, this is high school, right? So again, your friends, your tutors, your teachers, the principals, the people that you say hi on the street or you don't say hi on the street, the people that keep you going, your teammates in a team. I mean, one exercise that I usually do with people with some of the students at the end of the year is this. It's to give them a certificate. Congratulations, the end of the year. But what I tell them is this. I want you to tear your certificate and then give a piece to every person that directly or indirectly has helped you get to this point right now. Can you see the power in that? Can you see the visual in that? Can you see that mind focus in that? What I want you to do, and I don't want you to do it with a degree, or I don't want you to do it with a certificate of completion or anything. What I want you to do is, just create a thank you letter or a thank you note for all the people that I've helped you so far. And what I want you to do is this. I want you to cut it into pieces, and I want you to give it to them and say, thank you for everything that you've done. And explain to them that it started out as a thank you note, but there's so many people that you need to thank that you tore that thank you note apart. But you mean the most, right? Sincere thanks for everything that they've done in your life, everything that they've helped, everything that they supported. And believe me, you do that, and you do that, and you do that. You know what's amazing? It's that they're going to start thinking about the people that have helped them to do that. You see that ripple effect, right? Creature forming habits. We're creatures of habit. That's what we do, right? And if we do that from time to time, and I'm not saying overflood them all the time, but it's great when you achieve big things, right? When somebody gets a big salary, you usually offer money, or you donate money, or you give people money, and it's wonderful, right? Well, give them your thanks, right? Give them a thank you. Give them something that you can tear and break it apart. One time, I actually brought a Rice Krispie treat that's yay long, yay tall to my class this past year, and so I opened it and I said, look, I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all because this is kind of like and I showed them the one with the package. This is the culminating event that says that you're done. We said that we were going to have something like this to celebrate, but then I started tearing the pieces, and I gave them pieces and pieces and pieces to all the classes and the teachers that were supporting and everything. It was not the fact that it was a big Rice Krispie treat. It was the fact that everybody that had one had a special connection, had a connection that they have helped not only me, but the students in the classroom be successful in the school year. And everybody had one. Everybody talked about it. And it became the power of compounding. At that point, if I've asked them to do that, to do something, they would have done it as a group because of the power of compounding, because we're habit-forming creatures. So I'll end up with one more example. When there's GoFunds or different types of fundraisers, I mean, that's another example of how the compounding effect works, and then how we as creatures of habit can actually help out by donating. Sometimes there's different ways of looking at it. You can donate $100, right, and do that, and you'll get that satisfaction, and it's great, and you can still do it. But if you can actually get 100 people, right, to donate $1, 100 people have that gratitude, have that mentality, have that mind focus, right? If those 100 can get another 100, that's $200 that's being donated, and 200 people feel that gratitude. And believe me, it's habit forming. And you see the compounding effect. You can go further and further and further. So again, it's important for you to look at your habits, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and build on those habits, because those are the ones that move you forward. And then keep in mind that while you're building habits, while you're doing habits, when you do this every day I wake up, I feed the cats at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's a habit. But you know what? They know it. Every time I get up, they know that I'm going to feed them. It's a habit for me. And they're looking and they're excited and they want food and they're hungry. Again, it's a power of compounding and building habits that will help others. So when that happens, right, you can actually be motivated by that effect. You can do a lot of things. Look, 6 miles today motivated me to do this extra long video on how we are creatures of habit and how we should be using the compounding effect. So, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new video. Comments, questions, suggestions, put them in the comment section. If you want to connect with me on Facebook, you can search for me, Carlos Flores Jr. My picture is on there. On Instagram, you can type @BackOnBasics. On X, you can type @BackOnBasics. On WhatsApp, you can search for me and type @BackOnBasics 9985. So, again, right? It's rolling a pebble down the mountain and it becomes huge at the end and it becomes so fast that it's unstoppable. So let's go be unstoppable. Let's build these habits that will help us keep mind focus, mind sharpness, and body ready, body fit. And let's get those habits so that way we can get others on board. So that way you don't have to do all the work. Everybody will do the work. And at the same time, everybody will motivate one another. So that way you can move forward and you can get to your goals a lot faster. Back on Basics.